What's up, everybody, and welcome once again to the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Why the Gimme? You guys know why. Because it's good. Coming up, we've got a big week. We're going to go through all our favorite picks for the John Deere Classic, for the Scottish Open, for the U.S. Senior Open, and for the Marathon LPGA Classic. Whew, big week. I'm Jason Sobel. She is Amanda Rose. He is Justin Ray. The band is back together. Again, can't wait to talk to you guys coming up. We're going to spin the betting wheel. We're going to give our perfect portfolios. And yes, we're going to give a four-way parlay that if it hits, you might not see us again. So hopefully it happens. Guys, let's start out with our favorite bet on the board. What's the first bet you made, Amanda?
Steve Stricker, top 20. Death, taxes, and Steve Stricker in wherever the heck they're, Illinois.
Silvis, Illinois.
Silvis.
Put some respect on Silvis, Illinois' name. Come on now.
Sorry. The corn. It all confuses me.
Jay Ray, where are you going?
So BetMGM has a top Great Britain and Ireland play. I'm going to go with Tom Lewis at plus 225. One, he only has to beat three other players. And two, he had a top 25 finish last week at the Rocket Mortgage. Speaking to one of his coaches, he feeds off of confidence. He's a guy who really relies on that. So, hey, why not? He only has to beat three guys. I like that plus 225 number, Jason.
Okay, I like that. I am going with sort of what Amanda has. I'm going with a BetMGM prop bet that they have. Steve Stricker or Zach Johnson, either one of them to top 10 at the John Deere Classic this week at plus 150. And you know what that prop is called? It's called the Gimme prop. They named it after us. It's our own prop. So I'm going to play that one. Guys, what do you think before we move on? Stricker or ZJ top 10? You like that, Amanda?
I do like that. I would prefer Stricker top 20, but I do like Stricker top 10. I mean, it's just because he's old and he's, but okay. I do like that. I think that this is a really, really good bet for us this week.
Well, if he gets top 10, I believe that cashes the top 20 as well.
They're those two guys.
I know, but if he finishes like 11, then oh gosh, that's
fair.
What I was going to say is those two guys are basically number one and number two in all the counting stats all time at the John Deere Classic. Played there forever, tons of success forever. I absolutely love that bet.
Yep. And for the record, man, I like Stricker a little more than I like Zach Johnson this week. So let's get to the top of this board at BetMGM for the John Deere Classic, the fifth major, of course, as it's known around the circuit. Daniel Berger is the favorite. He is 10-1. He's played this event twice. He's got a top 5 finish. So obviously in some good form coming off a 7th place at the U.S. Open in his last start. Brian Harman running hot. He's 14-1. Sungjae Im 16-1 coming off a good ball striking performance last week. Russell Henley, he's been hot as well, 20-1. Kevin Streelman, we're going to talk about him a few times on this show, 22-1. And Alex Noren rounds out the top 6. He's 28-1. Let's get to our perfect portfolios. You can see how we did last week. Well, I was not on the show. I was on vacation. I would have gone 4 for 4 last week. Sorry, guys. I just kept all that money to myself. But Jay Ray was patting himself on the back earlier this week during our meeting because he was in the positive number last week. Don't give me that.
We just rack up W's. That's what we do.
Okay. Yeah. Don't look at me like you're like, no, me? No, I wasn't gloating about it. Yeah, you were.
He was really
mild gloat.
As well you should be. Keeping us in the positive. All right, let's get to our picks. Amanda, where are you going with the portfolio?
I don't know where I'm going. Actually, I know where I'm going with the portfolio, but let me turn my light back on.
Okay.
Oh, baby. Okay, so wait, actually, now let me get to my portfolio. So top 10s, I'm going to do 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s. That's kind of been my bread and butter lately because even if one doesn't hit, it's like if someone, decides to bet one of my bets, you have a chance. You've 1 in 4 chance of hitting. So Brian Harman and Alex Noren. Now, Brian Harman has been on an absolute freaking tear lately. He is like the silent, tiny killer because everywhere you look, he's showing up. Top 20 at the U.S. Open. Told you that was going to cash. I just love him right now. And Alex Noren, I mean, you guys know I was hot on him this time last summer when he was playing in the U.S. And he's so talented. It's not going to be long until he wins on the PGA Tour. And what do you shoot? 64, 63 on Sunday, almost got in the playoff or just missed the playoff by whatever, 1 or 2. So he's just so talented. I think he's a great top 10. And then for top 20s, I'm going to do another guy that was really good last week and in the playoff, Troy Merritt. You can't really fade him right now. He's been playing well. It was a few weeks ago that he was just up there too randomly. And then Steve Stricker, top 20, because death and taxes and Zach Johnson, he's just always kind of around. I mean, he went, 2009, 10, and 11. He won those 3 years. Was it 2010 that he shot 60 in the opening round? So I also like him for opening round stuff. So check out my article on Golf Bet or Action Network website and see, he's one of the guys I like for first round leader.
I've already read it. We've all been there already. By the way, Brian Harmon, hold me closer, tiny killer. I like that a lot, Amanda.
Baby.
I'm going to start with my portfolio with Kevin Streelman. 2 weeks ago, a very popular play for the Travelers Championship. He'd won there before. He was runner-up. Last year, he had 4 consecutive top 20s going into that one. Shot an opening round 67. It's like, all right, here we go. All systems go. Kevin Streelman, TPC River Highlands, shoots 72 in the second round. Not like he blew up, not like he played badly. And he missed the cut and he went home for the weekend. So I think some people have gotten off the scent of Kevin Streelman just a little bit, but I really like him. He's playing some good golf. Spoke with him at Torrey Pines a few weeks ago. He told me that he's in a really good place, not only his personal life, but his professional life right now. Loves playing golf, loves being out there with the guys. And I just think that that's going to translate into a win for him at some point. I'm taking him outright and I'm taking him top 10 this week. Hopefully both of those cash. And I'm also going top 10s with Patton Kazire, who's had a really underrated season so far this year. He is top 25 in the all-around category, which on the PGA Tour sort of just, it's exactly what it sounds like. It tabulates guys' statistical measurements in every single major category. And when you're up there with some of the big names, it means you're doing a lot of things really well, and he is up there. And then Matt McNeely, he's doing a lot of things really well too. Plays really well on short courses. He was second at Pebble Beach, 4th at Harbortown, 20th at Colonial. This isn't quite as short TPC Deer Run, but it's still a shorter golf course. He's been really good tee to green, and he's a really good putter. It seems like everything's in place for Matt McNeely this week. J-Ray?
So I'm going to go first off in my portfolio with a guy you talked about at length. I'm on Kevin Streelman as well to top 10. You mentioned he had 4 top 20s in a row before that miscut on the number, or we're just under the number at the Travelers Championship. Positive strokes gained in every denomination of that statistic this season. I was a little surprised to see that about Streelman. I think he's a little bit underrated on the whole. Top 40 on the PGA Tour, strokes gained tee to green. I've got him to top 10 this week. Next pick is JT Poston to top 10. I really like the value here, plus 700. Missed the cut, First start, I was looking at the wrong line there. First start since a respectable tie for 40th at the U.S. Open. On an easier golf course, the ball striking metrics kind of condense themselves. The field tends to bring more guys under the tent, and putting is a little bit more significant from a numbers perspective. JT Poston top 10 this season on the tour in strokes gained putting. I like him to top 10. I've got Bo Hostler to top 20, 3 top 25s in a row entering this week. Closed with a 68 Sunday in Detroit. Finished tied for 26 in his lone previous appearance here. He's plus 250 to finish in the top 20. I think that's a really good number for him. And then my fourth pick, I'm with Amanda. I'm going with Steve Stricker, basically the governor of Illinois or Wisconsin, or just that general region of the country. I think
it's all the same.
His claim is his, right? Yeah, for sure. He has not missed the cut at this golf tournament since I was in high school. So I like him to top 20. And look, he's skipping defending his U.S. Senior Open title to play at the John Deere Classic. So he takes this event very seriously. I think he's a good bet to top 20, Jason.
You were still in high school the last time you missed the cut. I was like 43 years old. That is demoralizing.
Sorry, pal.
Let's get to this golf course. TPC Deer Run, 7,257 yards of goodness in Silvis, Illinois, just outside the Quad Cities. Par 71 this week. The rough, got a little report from the course today. Rough is a little thicker than normal. It's been rainy out there, so watch out for that. The greens are a little bouncier, though. You'd think the rain would bring softer greens, but no, the greens are a little bouncy out there right now. Spoke with Paul Goidos earlier today. Paul, of course, shot a 59 back in 2010, 11 years ago, and said, yeah, the next morning I went to Starbucks, I opened up my laptop to look at the leaderboard, and I'm still 3 shots behind Steve Stricker, who wound up winning for a 3rd straight time the next year. That was his 2nd in a row back in 2010. So obviously Stricker is a guy that we've mentioned a lot so far. So there is some long shot potential, though, at this golf course. So let's talk about our favorite long shots. Amanda, where are you going with yours?
I clearly didn't understand the instructions here. So normally our B block is our first round leader. So I picked that, even though it said long shot. I was like, they're just, they don't know what they're talking about. It's going to be first round leaders. So I went with Seamus Powers. Now, in my defense, Seamus is usually pretty far down there on the odds board. course, this week he's like 33-1 or whatever. So I'm just going with him. I mean, he's four straight top 20s. He's just playing so well. I know he's not a long shot, but normally he would be.
The scripting, it says long shot, favorite long shot play. You're taking a
Yeah,
guy.
but normally it says first round leader bet.
Follow the directions.
He's tied for
Amanda.
9th favorite. Long shot.
I picked him before I looked at the odds board, okay?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm not letting that one go. You know what? My favorite long shot this week, Daniel Berger, 10 to 1.
Go for it. Honestly, I would support you in whatever you decided to do.
Thank you, man. I support you as well. Let's go, Seamus. Full power.
All right, so my long shot is 125 to 1. He's a guy who has won this season. This is a real long shot. He's missed 15 cuts in 24 starts this year. But when Hudson Swafford has made the cut, those 9 times, he's got a first, a second, and a 6th. He's made 3 of his last 4 cuts, runner-up at the Palmetto Championship in that mix. When he's hot, he tends to get near the top of the leaderboard. Hey, why not? He's a long shot pick. Right, Amanda?
I mean, no, yours doesn't count because your pick is actually Harris English. So disqualified, lost a hole.
Do I get Russell Henley too?
Hold on. Who won the match? I never ended up finishing it, and I still haven't seen on Twitter, and I don't want to Google it.
Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton won the match.
Okay.
I was watching the finals by the end of it.
Thank you.
Phil beat Tiger. I know you DVR'd it 3 years ago, but I'll spoil it for you. My long shot is 100 to 1 this week. Amanda, is that okay with you? 100 to 1 for a long shot? Does that qualify?
I think that checks out. That does,
okay.
yes.
Just want to make sure. My guy's Mito Pereira. If you don't know the name, get used to it. This guy won 3 times on the Korn Ferry Tour, the developmental tour of the PGA. Earlier this year, got an in-season promotion, played his first event last week at the Rocket Mortgage as a full-time member. He missed the cut. Okay, there are expectations. They were pretty high. That's his first event as a full-time member. Now he's going to feel a little more comfortable. This, quite honestly, doesn't look that much different than a Korn Ferry event outside the top 20 or 25 guys. So Pereira is a guy that obviously can play well, and especially against a field of this nature. So at 100 to 1, I like him a lot. All right, let's get to our ultimate DFS lineup. We do it every week on the Action Network podcast. You can check out all our models and tools on Fantasy Labs. In fact, if I click over them on my laptop right now, I'll look at the optimizer that I am using because it is a major, major help when making a whole bunch of lineups. Let's see who's got the first pick this week. Amanda.
That's crazy how that worked out.
Weird.
So naturally, I'm going with Zach Johnson because I like Zach Johnson and he's just an easy bet here. And I saw him stretching in like a really weird way at the hotel at check-in during the Travelers. And I was like, that's kind of odd. So it made me think, maybe Zach Johnson's actually a really funny guy. Like maybe he's a cool dude. Maybe he's a homie. So I'm like, no, after the weird stretching at check-in and like the sauntering through the lobby, I'm now a Zach Johnson fan. And he's my first pick because he's won here before. He has a handful of top 5 finishes. What, Jason?
No, I'm letting you finish. I'm just going to say it's a stretch to go from the stretch to, hey, he's a really cool, funny guy. But he is a really cool, funny guy. One of my favorite dudes on tour, Zach Johnson. I don't know how you got that from a stretch in the lobby.
Yeah. But we already talked about him, right? We've already talked about him. So the fans don't need to hear the same thing about him again. They want to hear a good story from the best storyteller, Amanda Angelou. Get it? Like Maya Angelou, but like Amanda.
I've long since stopped trying to understand young Rose over there. So moving on to the next member of our DFS team, I'm going to go with the guy I talked about earlier, Beau Hossler. 3 top 25 finishes in a row entering this week. He shot even par or better 13 of his last 14 rounds on tour, just outside the top 125. So he's looking to get back into the FedEx Cup playoff picture. Big week for him this week. I've got him, and he's 7,800. Pretty good value.
Amanda, that call that we're talking about before the show, I have a feeling it's coming very, very soon. I'm going to try to differentiate this lineup a little bit. I think that a lot of the same names have been spoken about so far in the first little part of our show. And if you look around in the industry, a a lot of similar names going around. So I'm going to dig a little deeper. Robert Streb has been playing some good golf. This is a Robert Streb kind of place, Midwest guy. I just think that this is a nice spot for him to just kind of fly in under the radar. He's cheap too. 6,700 will save some money and we'll be able to spend it elsewhere. Amanda?
Yeah, that took me a second to figure out what you're talking about. Now I'm paranoid. But
inside
so,
jokes.
I know you joke. It's for the adults. So I'm gonna go with Vincent Whaley now. He has not exactly been riding the heater like I thought he was going to after cashing for me for top 20. But I don't know. He makes cuts, and that's what you need. Someone who's low owned and makes cuts, who's cheap, that gives you room to buy other guys in the DFS lineup. So I'm going with Vincent Whaley. Like, something's got to give.
Jay Ray?
All right, so we've invested a lot in this guy by talking about him throughout the show. I'm going to go ahead and put him on the team as well. We've said the name Kevin Streelman more times than in the Streelman house over the last, week, 2 weeks combined. But I've got him on the roster, 4 top 20s in his last 5 starts on tour. We've talked about he's expensive this week by Kevin Streelman standards, but in a not so deep field. I think he's a man we got to have on the list.
If Kevin Streelman does not play well this week, Kevin Streelman will be hearing from my legal team because I'm going to be in some trouble. Need Kevin Streelman to play well. All right, you've left me way more money than you guys ever leave me. So
you're welcome.
Thank you.
We missed you.
I appreciate it.
We wanted you to stay
for a couple of weeks, and you guys, I come back and you guys give me money, so I'm going to spend it on Brian Harmon. What do you call him? A little killer?
I don't remember, honestly. It was
tiny
too long
killer.
ago.
Yeah,
Silent,
closer, tiny killer.
Deadly mercenary. I'm not sure the 2 words you juxtaposed together, but they were vividly different and wildly entertaining.
Thank you.
Since we're talking hotel lobby stories, a couple of years ago, also at the Travelers Championship, my brother, unbeknownst to him, who knows nothing about golf, but he was bought a couple of early evening beverages by Harris English and Brian Harmon. I told him last week that, hey, one of those guys just happened to win the Travelers Championship. They're sitting there, baseball game on, they're watching a Braves game, talking about the Braves. And, my brother has no idea who these guys are. And so maybe there's a little, synergy here. And we get Brian Harmon to win one as well. Just some nice karma for buying someone a couple of beers in a hotel lobby.
You bought Brendan Steele a drink at the Travelers. You just don't know that you bought him a drink. I bought him a drink and said, this is on Jason Sobel. So you will be billed soon.
If he wins again, that will be still profitable for me. I'll buy him all the drinks he wants. All right. It's time to spin the wheel, guys, but we're going to spin it Scottish style. The Scottish Open is going on the European Tour this week, and it is going to be a good one. I'm telling you guys, wake up early and get that clicker going because it's a good weekend of golf to sit around on the couch and watch at home. Great field at the Renaissance Club. We've got 6 names on the board. Their names John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Tyrrell Hatton. Yeah, like I said, pretty good names. Super producer Evan Abrams, are you ready to spin this thing?
I am, and I'm just so upset that Kevin Streelman's not on the wheel because he would have been nailed first right on this show. I would have given him to Sobel too.
We've also picked him to win the Scottish Open. It's a big week.
Yeah, he's going to take all the tournaments. All right, we are spinning the wheel. And the first one up, it's Rory. Justin, what do you think about Rory?
Rory doesn't typically play in the Scottish Open, and his best finish in his career here was a tie for 14th place. His ball striking numbers have been better since he started working with Pete Cowan. And I know he won in Charlotte a little while ago, but the consistency just isn't quite there yet. After contending at the U.S. Open, he had kind of a middling results at the Irish Open. I think I'm going to have to fade Rory McIlroy this week and probably at the Open Championship as well. I just don't think that he's back to being the guy that we, peak Rory McIlroy yet. He's just not there yet.
Got it. England back, Rory not. Understood. So let's spin the wheel. Yeah, it's coming home. Well, maybe. We'll have to see. All right, let's spin it again. All right, JT. Amanda, JT, what do you think?
I'm going to fade Justin Thomas. I don't really like how he's played here historically. He hasn't really done anything too remarkable over in the UK. So I'm going to fade him. I think he has a better chance next week at St. George's. I expect to see more of like a peak in his game come then. But I think this is just a really good warm-up week for him. I don't think he's going to miss the cut, but I wouldn't put big money on him to win this week.
Doesn't have a top 10 since the Players, which I thought was pretty remarkable.
That's his only top 10 since January.
There you go.
And it was a win at the Players. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 fades. Going back to the wheel, you guys are pretty negative today. So let's see if Sobel's going to be positive on his last spin here.
But I said,
And yeah, that's true. That's true. We're off.
Give him
Let's see.
Streelman.
Oh, there you go. It's Colin Morikawa. Jason, what are you doing?
Big time fade. Nothing against Colin Morikawa. Love him. He can win on any golf course any week. He is, I believe, 11-1 right now at this golf tournament. Doesn't have much links golf experience. No. But quite honestly, if you look at all the names I've got here, it's sell, 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 sell. I'm just not looking at the top of the board. These numbers are way too short for me. John Rahm plus 650. Xander Schauffele hasn't won in 2.5 years. He just got married. He's 10-1. Come on. I can't be chasing these numbers. If I'm going after anybody, I'm looking in that 30 to 35 to 40-1 range. Brandon Grace is there. Ian Poulter, even Scotty Scheffler. I don't mind. Corey Connors. Those are the guys I'm looking at. But
even has good odds.
Who's that?
Lucas Herbert has like pretty long odds considering.
Yeah. But that's where I'm looking at least. Evan, I don't like anybody at the top of that board. Yes, they could all win, but I'm not chasing those numbers.
Yeah, you're looking for a long shot. So like 33-1. Sounds about right. All right.
Well done, Evan. Well done.
No worries. Have a good one. See you later, guys.
He has jokes. I like this guy. We should keep him.
Oh, man. I don't know about that. That was good. That's good. All right. I'm a little speechless. Let's go. 1 minute left with so many good events on the board this week. We wanted to find a fun way to sort of parlay all these bets. We heard about that better over in England a couple of weeks ago. Hit 4 golf winners and 2 other, I believe, soccer winners in the same week, won $1 million. Let's try to do the same thing, guys. All right. John Deere Classic, Scottish Open, the Marathon LPGA Classic, and the U.S. Senior Open. J-Ray, give me 4 winners.
All right, I'm higher on Schauffele than you are. I'm going to pick him as my Scottish winner. Not crazy about the number, but his game travels everywhere. 54-hole leader a couple years ago at the Open Championship. Jerry Kelly's my U.S. Senior Open winner. Runner-up in 18, runner-up in 19, 4 straight top 10s in senior majors. I've got Brooke Henderson at the Marathon. Last 7 Marathon winners hit at least 75% of their greens in regulation. She is an iron play machine. And then I've got Russell Henley to round it out, winning the John Deere.
That parlay, $1 will pay off $37,049.
Why not? Why not?
So you might as well put a hundo on it. Amanda.
So I'm going to go for Scottish Open. I'm going to go with my buddy Guido Migliozzi. He obviously tied for 4th at the US Open, top 20 in his very first PGA Tour event at the Travelers. I like his game right now. I think he's in a great spot. I think he could very easily win this week. PGA Tour, I'm going with Zach Johnson for obvious reasons. I don't know. I just feel like he's going to have a good week this week. It seems like it's a weaker field. And I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a vibe this week with him. Bernhard Langer, it's just easy, I guess, because he just wins everything. And then Leona Maguire, she has been playing so well on the LPGA Tour. You can still get good odds on her. I love her game, and I think she's going to do huge things very soon. So those are mine. So I have Guido, ZJ, Langer, and Maguire.
Just so you know, Amanda, $1 will win you $658,664 this week.
So I should put 100 on it.
100 will win, like quick math. It's a $65 million payout.
Dude, well, I obviously I don't have money on this, so it's gonna be so fun to see when this hits and I'm like dying inside.
Somebody out there, somebody watching the Gimme right now, please put in a ticket for Amanda with a 4-way parlay of those 4 names she just mentioned, and don't give her any of it when it hits.
I'll ask the tarot cards. I'll see what they say.
All right, guys.
Psychic.
I'm going with Kevin Streelman, as I've mentioned 100 other times on the show so far. Brandon Grace is my play at the Scottish Open. He's had a really good year so far. He's the only guy, remember, to shoot better than 63 in a major championship. He did that on a links golf course, Birkdale, 4 years ago. Yeah. So I like him at 33-1. Guys, I can tell you that if my younger sibling was having a ton of success and we were in the same field, I would be like, all right, I got to step on the gas pedal and go do something. Nelly Korda is right now #1 in the world. She's been playing great golf. Jessica Korda is going to start going pretty soon. So I got Jessica Korda this week. She's played well at the Marathon in the past. And my U.S. Senior Open play, Retief Goosen, I'm basically going on the fact that once you're a USGA player, you're always a USGA player. He's a 2-time U.S. Open champion. He was also T3 on the senior circuit last week. Thank you so much to everybody out there for watching this week's edition of the Gimme. Remember, you can find all our content this week and every other week on Golf Bet. For Justin Ray, for Amanda Rose, I'm Jason Sobel. Good luck with all your bets for the John Deere Classic, the Scottish Open, the Marathon LPGA, and the Senior Open and everything else. Here's hoping you guys hit the green.